Hey everybody, welcome to Raising Vibrations, and we're going to be doing a little bit of a Mars retrograde video for us. And there is tons and tons of information out there in terms of everybody's perspective on Mars retrograde. So I'm going to attempt to provide you with my own intuitive response to it, or understanding of it. And hopefully it provides you with some value and maybe an opportunity to begin processing some of the dynamics that will be brought up for you during this Mars retrograde period. So as you can see on the astrology chart at the moment, Mars is sitting there all in the 11th house in Aquarius. I took out a couple of symbols like Neptune I took Jupiter out, and the Sagittarius out, the moon that's in Sag, just to make it kind of a little bit more clearer in terms of, what I sense this energy to be. So there you go, Mars sitting at 9 degrees Aquarius. It's got a little S next to it, which means it's stationary. Today is the 26th of June 2018. So, what is going to happen for us? Like, what are we going to do with Mars retrograde? How is this going to happen? Well, as I said in the the summer solstice video, which I highly recommend you go and check out. Even I watched that and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I got something to learn from that experience. We're going to go through a period of time where we need to just take it easy for a bit. Okay. And what I mean by take it easy for a bit is that, let's just think of the content over here. To get a really, really deep understanding of Mars retrograde, I think it's really important for us to go back to December last year when Saturn entered Capricorn, and understand the context of that. When a planet enters a sign, especially when it's something like Uranus or Saturn, maybe even Jupiter for a little bit, but the outer planets for that, there's going to be an initial wave of energetic interaction. Okay, so a new energetic wave of interaction is going to meet the sign that it's about to enter. So when Saturn moved into Capricorn, right, during this period of time, we had the most recent Mars-Venus conjunction. Okay, I think that happened at the end of September. So Mars and Venus made a new phase relationship to each other. And of course, this new phase energy, this new energy that was being brought with Mars and Venus, was going to reestablish our relationship patterns. Okay. As I said, Jupiter enters Scorpio and Saturn enters Capricorn. So we had a lot of changing of signs regarding patterns, okay, regarding energy. And like I said, when a planet enters a new sign, you've got to think and know that the last time it was in that sign was at a different period of our life. So with Saturn entering Capricorn and its movement through Capricorn, it began to, bring to us energy in which we were being influenced by, being shaped by. Okay, so a lot of us started to begin changing our lives or feeling the Saturn energy, and we began working with it. I know that for me personally, I started the Patreon community, and I had a specific vision for it. And that vision was to build this platform where I could be creative in the process and share content to everybody there, and also allow for souls to interact with me on a more personal level over there. I really want to establish this personal relationship to all of you. So I started Patreon at that time, right? And Saturn continued to go forward, and where are we now? We're in June, right? So we're 6 months into the Saturn in Capricorn energy, and when we interact with the new energy, we bring the old emotional complexes. This is specifically with Saturn, right? We bring old dynamics to a new energy form. So if you had to hold the image in your mind's eye right now, you would have your sense of identity and all of the ways that you perceive life, and then this new energy interacting with it. And because of the new energy and the old dynamics interacting, we're not going to materialize a completely new structure of reality because it's still outdated. So Saturn goes retrograde, okay, in Capricorn, and it moves backwards over time. And what's happening is that we're moving back, all the way back, okay? And so in my case, what I noticed is that I was busy doing something. I really, really, really want to get a lot. I have a lot of inspiration right now. I have a lot of desire to want to provide everybody with the value to transform your life through the knowledge that I have. And it's something that's burning deeply in me. And yet with Saturn in its trine to Uranus, it's going, okay, buddy, you want to kind of put this in a very grounded and thorough and embodied state. So I'm kind of trying that at the moment, and I'm not really getting it completely. And then all of a sudden, right, Saturn comes along, or actually when Neptune goes retrograde, because it's really important to know that the cycle of Neptune's retrograde, which only took place a couple of days ago, is deeply influential in the Mars retrograde meaning. Okay, these symbols are not just random. They don't just randomly occur. There's synchronicity here. And I'm trying to kind of like play the music of the cosmos. So when Neptune went retrograde, an insight came to me, which revealed to me something that I felt was really, really important. And it was the first idea of why the Patreon community was an essential part of my next step in delivering really, really high quality astrology content for those that are seeking to empower their lives. And not even astrology, just anything that's related to healing. Okay. So that insight came to me. I was like, oh, okay, I've really, really I've got the next piece in the puzzle. And so as this happened, the insight was not available to me in December. So naturally, all of the kind of structures, all of the dynamics that I set up at that point in time has now, in a sense, lost some of its meaning, and there's new seeds to be sown. Okay. So as Saturn goes retrograde and Neptune is now retrograde, we are in the context of going back over to a place that was originally started last year, December, and Mars, that is now going to go retrograde for the next couple of months, is going to prevent us from initiating anything until the synchronicity of Saturn's, or should I say Jupiter's motion direct. So Jupiter's going to go direct really, really soon. And then it's going to prevent us from really actioning a lot of stuff right now, because we are not looking to reestablish new things. We are looking to go back to a place earlier in our cycle of evolution. Remember, when you're looking at this chart, you're looking at the cycles and the motions of energy. So naturally speaking, when a planet goes retrograde, it is the process of going backwards. And we're going backwards to observe something and to recognize and to understand deeper insight into the original intention that was taking place between September and December last year, which was the formation of Mars and Neptune, formation of Mars and Venus, okay? The new phase. It was the formation of Jupiter entering Scorpio and then Saturn entering Capricorn. We're going all the way back and saying, okay, we're going to wash away all of the types of things that we thought was absolutely essential for our Saturn work and our Uranus work and our Mars-Venus values, etc. And we're going to change. And look, tomorrow is a new moon. Full moon. And that full moon's happening where? In Capricorn, between Pluto and Saturn. It's a completely new phase relationship. The moon will have a new phase relationship to Saturn. Okay? So this is a time in which there is a new direction that is going to be merging for us, an essential new direction. And I think there's even an eclipse happening somewhere around this period of time as well. So you can see here that we're tapping into a reorientation and rectification time. So what is being reorientated? What is being rectified? And it's not rectified in the sense of something negative. It's rectified in the sense that it's about adjusting our sails. And this is a time of just coming back home, right? Just simply putting down the seeds. So for me, as an example, there's a lot more happening with the Patreon community. One of the things that I have opened up as part of my initiative with Uranus entering Taurus is that anybody can be a Patreon member, and you don't have to, there is no fee. Okay, there is no like you have to pay to become a Patreon member. There's an open space where you can join this community and you can have access to material that I'm creating over there. And if you find something that's really, really interesting, you can offer sort of like your value. So you might look at a video and say, hey, this was a really cool video. I really liked this. I valued it at this. Instead of the kind of dynamic of, me saying to you, this is what I think it's worth. And then you watching it and going, yeah, I didn't really get any of that, but I gave you something that was worth. It's like rechanging the way that value is working. And so part of the initiative is to create a space where there are certain levels of content that people want to learn. And then there is a level in which it just says, hey, I just want to like be exposed to content. I want to interact with people that are on a soul's journey, and I want to find a community. That's what's changed for me. And it's only going to grow as this Mars retrograde period brings me more insight, brings me more clarification, brings me more deeper into like intimacy with what it is that I'm really trying to cultivate. And it's a beautiful thing. And I think that it's really, really important during this period of time of this Mars retrograde to really just like take a step back, breathe, notice how you're probably going to get a little bit frustrated with the things that you are not getting done. Things might not get done. And it can be a little bit frustrating with that. Like I said, allow yourself to just breathe through the experience, for me particularly. And there's a lot of other things that are taking place in our lives right now. And I think this is a great time to just reorientate, recognize that where the sail is no longer getting wind from the, from the gods, and recognize where the wind has changed, and then allow your sail to catch that wind so that you float into the new direction with the support of this energy pattern instead of the sort of like resistance that you might feel. So this is a time of allowing yourself to move into a new direction. This is a time of breaking away from the past and the past conditioning patterns, with Mars retrograde over Aquarius and then eventually going back into Capricorn. This is another time or another opportunity for us to really begin recognizing that we're changing our values. We're changing the value of the things that we think are important for us. And this is so essential to this Mars retrograde period, okay? All right, peeps. So I hope that you found something interesting out of today's conversation and that there was value in it. And if you did find any value in the experience, please, feel free to write in the comments below. I like reading it. It's wonderful to interact. And if you want to learn more about what I'm doing on Patreon, in the comments below, as well as the description, there's a link. And, just come over there and check it out, okay? Other than that, I will speak to you for the full moon information tomorrow, and have a wonderful day, okay? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.